Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night, staring at the ceiling and wondering, where did things go wrong with my children? You gave them your all, your youth, your savings. You thought these golden years would be filled with warmth and respect. But instead, you're met with a chilling silence, or worse, words that feel like tiny, sharp stones thrown at your heart. This isn't just sadness. In my 30 years as a family doctor, I've seen how this constant emotional stress can lead to real physical problems. High blood pressure, trouble sleeping, and a weakened heart. But I'm here to tell you something that might sound shocking, something that goes against everything we've been taught about family. Sometimes, the most loving, healthiest thing you can do is to walk away. I'm not talking about theory. I'm talking about reality. I'll never forget a patient of mine. Let's call him Robert. A wonderful man, a retired veteran. He was shrinking before my eyes, his spark gone. His children treated his home like a hotel and his wallet like an open ATM. He kept trying until he realized he was pouring water into a bucket full of holes. The day he chose his own peace, everything changed. In this video, we're going to identify the 8 toxic phrases that adult children use, phrases that are undeniable red flags. I'm here to arm you with the knowledge to see that protecting your peace isn't selfish. It is an act of survival. And please, make sure you stay until the end, because the 8th and final phrase we'll discuss is the most devastating of all. Understanding it and knowing how to respond could be the single most important decision you make for your own well-being. Everything I'm sharing today isn't from a textbook. It's from decades of sitting with parents just like you, listening to their stories. This is real-world wisdom for real-world pain. Before we dive in, I truly want to know how many of us have felt this sting. If anything I've just said feels familiar to you, please take a moment and comment a simple yes below. It lets me know you're here, and it shows the countless others watching that they are not alone. Okay, let's get started. Alright, let's begin with the first and most painful phrase. Number 1. You were a bad parent. This one. It's a truly heavy blow. When you hear those words, they don't just land in your ears. They land right in the center of your heart. And instantly, a lifetime of memories flashes by. The sacrifices, the sleepless nights, the choices you made with the best of intentions. The immediate feeling is guilt. A deep, aching guilt. But I need you to understand something I've learned from decades in my practice. This phrase is almost never an attempt to heal a past wound. It is a weapon. In medicine, we know that chronic stress floods your body with cortisol, a hormone that is toxic over time. Emotionally, this accusation does the same thing. It injects a slow drip poison of guilt into your spirit. And here's the core reason it becomes so powerful as we get older. Our fundamental human need for connection deepens with age. We want to mend fences to feel close to our family. Your children, whether they realize it or not, know this. They know you are more vulnerable now to these kinds of attacks because your desire for a loving relationship is so strong. And what does that feeling lead to? It leads to real, physical symptoms. That knot in your stomach when you see their name on your phone. The feeling of a heavy weight on your chest. That's your body responding to this emotional assault. I had a patient, let's call her Carol, a retired nurse who had worked double shifts for years to put her son through college. He was struggling to pay his rent and would often say things like, "Well, you were never there for me when I was a kid because you were always at the hospital. The least you can do is help me out now." Do you see what's happening there? It's not a conversation. It's a transaction built on manipulation. So, here is your solution. Do not engage in the argument. Do not defend your entire life's worth of parenting. Instead, you must calmly, and with finality say, "I am sorry you feel that way. I did the best I could with the love I had." And then, you end the conversation. You are not on trial, and you do not have to participate in a courtroom where you have already been judged. If you believe that every parent, despite their imperfections, deserves dignity, please take a moment to comment dignity below. Number 2. You're a burden. These might be the 3 most soul-crushing words in the English language. This phrase is engineered to strike at the very core of your value as a human being. It's designed to make you feel small, needy, and utterly dependent. For your entire life, you were a provider, a caregiver, a problem solver. This one phrase attempts to strip all of that away, reducing you to a chore on someone's to-do list. The psychological impact is devastating, because it preys on one of the deepest and most common fears of aging: the fear of losing your independence and becoming a problem for one's children. When your own child voices that fear and turns it into an accusation, the wound is profound. This fear, once planted, grows into a tree of toxic behaviors. It's what causes you to hesitate before asking for a simple ride to the doctor. It's the reason you might downplay a serious pain or a fall, simply because you don't want to be an inconvenience. This leads directly to social isolation and can create very real health risks when you fail to seek the help you actually need. I'll never forget a gentleman who came to my office with a badly bruised hip. He finally confessed that he had fallen in his kitchen 2 days earlier. When I asked why he didn't call his daughter, who lives just 10 minutes away, he looked down at his hands and said quietly, "The last time I called for help," she sighed and said, "Dad, what is it now?" So he lay on the cold floor for nearly 2 hours until he could pull himself up. He chose physical pain over the emotional pain of feeling like a burden. Let me speak directly to you. You are not a burden. Your wisdom, your stories, your very presence are a blessing. The solution here begins with you changing your own perspective. Stop seeing yourself through their resentful eyes. Your action is to start investing your precious time and energy in people who see you as a gift. Friends, neighbors, church groups, community centers. You are a treasure, and it's time you started spending your time with fellow treasure hunters. It's just unbelievable, isn't it? If that story shocks you, please comment "wow" below. Number 3. I'm too busy for you. This one is more subtle. It isn't an outright attack, but a slow, painful erosion of your importance in their life. It's the unanswered text messages, the voicemails that are never returned, the visits that are always postponed for some other, more important thing. Let's be very clear about what's happening here. "I'm too busy" is almost always a code word. It's code for, you are not a priority. In my experience, no one is ever truly too busy for the people they value. They make time. A 5-minute call on the way home from work, a quick text in the morning, a short visit on a Sunday afternoon. These are not huge investments of time. They are small deposits into the emotional bank account of a relationship. When those deposits stop, the account goes bankrupt. The core reason this hurts more as we age is because our perception of time changes. We are acutely aware that our time is finite. We aren't asking for hours upon hours. We are asking for connection, a sign that we still matter in their world. When that connection is consistently denied, it feels like a form of emotional abandonment. The physical symptoms are often a sense of deep loneliness and a quiet, persistent sadness that can dull the colors of your daily life. I had a patient, Margaret, whose son lived in the same town. She would only ever hear from him when he and his wife needed a last-minute, free babysitter. She would drop everything to help, hoping it would lead to a real conversation, a real connection. But the moment they returned, he was too busy to stay and chat. He was taking her time, but not giving any of his. She was a utility, not a mother. The solution is difficult, but necessary. You must stop being the only one reaching out. Pull back your energy. Stop leaving messages that go unanswered. Stop begging for scraps of their time. Your silence and your absence will speak volumes more than your repeated, ignored attempts at connection. It may be the only thing that makes them realize what they are taking for granted. Number 4. You owe me. This phrase is perhaps the most revealing of them all, because it exposes a deep-seated sense of entitlement and a staggering lack of gratitude. It reframes the entire parent-child relationship from one of love and sacrifice into a cold, transactional contract. Owe them. Owe them for what exactly? For the thousands of dollars spent on food, clothing, and education? For the sleepless nights when they were sick? For putting your own dreams on hold so they could pursue theirs? A parent's love is a gift, given freely. It is not a loan that must be repaid with your time, your money, and your peace of mind in your retirement years. This belief system is particularly dangerous for seniors because it turns you into a resource to be exploited, not a parent to be cherished. It's a mindset that says your 401k or your savings account is just an extension of their own. This creates immense financial and emotional stress, making you feel as though your own security in your final years is less important than their immediate wants. I saw this firsthand with a couple who had saved a modest nest egg of about $50,000 for their retirement. Their son, who was in his 40s, wanted to start a risky new business and came to them demanding the money. When they hesitated, he said, "You owe me this. You always supported my sister more than me." He was weaponizing a perceived childhood slight to justify draining their life savings. Here is your defense, and it is a simple but powerful word: no. You can say it kindly, but you must say it firmly. I love you dearly, but I cannot do that. You are not a bank. You are not an endless supply of favors. Saying no is not a rejection of them. It is an affirmation of your own right to a secure and peaceful retirement. It's a boundary, and healthy relationships are built on healthy boundaries. Number 5. You're too old to understand. This is a quiet kind of cruelty, a dismissiveness that attempts to render a lifetime of experience completely irrelevant. It's a verbal pat on the head, a way of saying, your thoughts, your opinions, and your wisdom are now obsolete. It is one of the most common forms of ageism, and it is especially painful when it comes from your own child. The implication is that the world has changed so much that your entire journey through it, navigating wars, recessions, technological revolutions, and personal tragedies, has no value. It is an attempt to silence your voice. This becomes especially toxic for older adults because one of our most important roles is that of the elder, the keeper of wisdom. We want to share what we've learned to help our children and grandchildren avoid the same mistakes we made. When that offering is rejected with a wave of the hand, it can feel like a rejection of our very identity. It makes you feel invisible, like a ghost at the dinner table. It makes you second-guess yourself and can lead you to stop sharing your thoughts altogether, retreating into a shell. I think of my patient Frank, the retired engineer I mentioned earlier. He saw his son getting into a risky financial investment that looked exactly like a scheme he'd seen fail in the 1980s. He gently tried to offer his perspective, and his son just laughed and said, "Dad, you're too old to understand how this new stuff works." 6 months later, his son lost nearly his entire investment. The solution is not to argue or try to prove how in touch you are. You will never win that battle. Instead, you hold your ground with quiet dignity. You can say, "You may be right, but this is what my experience has taught me." You state your wisdom as your own truth, without needing their validation. You are not offering it for their approval. You are offering it because it is who you are. Affirm your own value, even when they refuse to. Number 6. Why do you always make everything about you? This is a masterclass in emotional manipulation. It's a phrase designed to do one thing: silence you. It's a tactic used when you try to express a valid feeling, hurt, loneliness, disappointment, and instead of being met with empathy, you are accused of being selfish. It's a cruel reversal that instantly puts you on the defensive. You brought up a legitimate issue, and suddenly, you are the problem. The clinical term for this is gaslighting. It's a way of making you question your own feelings and your own reality. Over time, it can make you believe that you have no right to your own emotions. This is particularly damaging in our later years because clear, honest communication is essential for healthy relationships. When you are made to feel guilty for simply saying, "It hurt my feelings when you forgot my birthday," you learn a dangerous lesson. To keep the peace, you must swallow your pain. You must pretend you are okay when you are not. This leads to a buildup of unspoken resentment and profound loneliness, even when you're surrounded by family. It's a hollow kind of peace. Think of a father who, after being stood up for a planned lunch for the 3rd time, finally says to his daughter, "I feel really disappointed when our plans fall through." Instead of an apology, he gets, "Oh, here we go. Why do you always have to make everything about you? I have a stressful job, you know." See how it works? Her irresponsibility is now his selfishness. Your solution is to trust yourself. Your feelings are real. They are valid. You do not need their permission to feel them. The next time this happens, hold your ground calmly. Say, "This isn't about me being selfish. This is about me telling you how your actions affected me. My feelings are also part of this relationship." You are not asking them to fix it. You are demanding that they acknowledge it. You have a right to be heard. Number 7. You're lucky I still talk to you. Let's be perfectly clear. This is not a statement made in a loving relationship. This is a statement made by a bully. It is a threat, plain and simple. It is designed to establish a power dynamic where their affection and attention are not gifts, but rewards that you must constantly earn. It puts a price tag on their love. The underlying message is, you must behave, you must meet my expectations, you must never upset me, or I will punish you by withdrawing my presence from your life. It turns the parent-child bond, which should be unconditional, into a deeply transactional and stressful arrangement. This is especially cruel to a parent, because our love for our children is arguably the most unconditional love that exists. We don't stop loving them when they make mistakes. The idea that their love for us is something we have to be lucky to receive is a profound insult to everything that bond is supposed to represent. It keeps you walking on eggshells, constantly afraid of saying or doing the wrong thing. That is not love. That is control. It creates a state of perpetual anxiety, wondering if this will be the day you do something that causes them to cut you off. I had a female patient whose daughter would use this exact phrase. She would call once a month, and if my patient brought up anything difficult or emotional, the daughter would say, "You know, Mom, you're lucky I even make this call. Most people don't bother." The mother was so terrified of losing that one monthly call that she would just swallow her feelings and pretend everything was wonderful. The only way to respond to a threat is not with submission, but with a boundary. You do not have to be hostile. You simply have to state the truth. Our relationship shouldn't be about luck. It should be about love. Or you can choose to say nothing and let the cruelty of their statement hang in the air, unanswered. Sometimes, not engaging in the power game is the only way to win. Number 8. I wish you weren't my parent. And here we are. The final phrase. This is not a stone thrown at your heart. This is a dagger, twisted with a deliberate intent to cause the deepest wound possible. It may be screamed in a moment of rage, or it may be said with a cold, calculated calm. Either way, its purpose is to annihilate the very foundation of your relationship. It is an attempt to erase a lifetime of love, sacrifice, and connection. After all the sleepless nights, the scraped knees, the packed lunches, the birthday parties, the worrying, the hoping, the praying. To hear those words is to be told that none of it mattered. It is the ultimate rejection. There is no deeper cut. For a parent, whose very identity is wrapped up in the love they have for their child, this phrase feels like an emotional death sentence. It's a statement of such profound cruelty that it can, and often does, create a wound that never fully heals. It's the one line that, once crossed, is almost impossible to come back from. I wish I could tell you a story here, but the truth is, the stories are too numerous and too painful. They are whispered in the quiet of my office by mothers and fathers with tears in their eyes, who feel their entire life's work has just been invalidated by the person they love most in this world. There is no clever response to this. There is no witty comeback. When a line this fundamental has been crossed, words often fail. The only solution is to protect what is left of your heart. This is the point where you must, for your own survival, create distance. This is not about punishing them. It is about saving yourself. The most loving thing you can do when faced with this level of emotional violence is to walk away. You must retreat to a place of safety to preserve your own peace and dignity. You simply must. Do you remember Robert? The patient I told you about at the very beginning. The man who was fading away, shrinking under the weight of his children's disrespect? Today, Robert is thriving. He really is. He joined a local walking club that meets at the park every Tuesday and Thursday morning. He volunteers twice a week at the town library, reading to children. He has new friends, a new sense of purpose. He didn't stop loving his children, not for a moment. But he stopped letting their disrespect define his life. He stopped waiting by the phone for a call that would only bring him pain. In the quiet dignity of his own choices, he took his peace back. The single most important lesson from all my years in practice is this: you cannot pour from an empty cup. It's a simple truth, but a profound one. You have spent a lifetime, decades, filling the cups of others. Your children, your spouse, your community. Now, it is time to fill your own. Your peace, in these golden years, is not negotiable. It is the most precious thing you own. As we wrap up, We've explored some very difficult truths together. But knowledge is only powerful when we put it into action. So now, I have one important question for you, and I want you to really think about it. What is the one commitment you are making to yourself after watching this video? It could be as simple as, I will not answer a stressful phone call after dinner, or I will take a walk by myself this week, just for me. Please share your personal commitment in the comments below. Reading them inspires me, and seeing them will inspire others in our community to take that first, brave step. And if you found real value and inspiration in our time together today, show your support by giving this video a like. To ensure you continue on this journey with us, and never miss another conversation full of wisdom for your life, hit that subscribe button. It's more than just subscribing. It's joining a community of friends dedicated to living our best lives, together. Finally, think of one person, maybe a friend, a neighbor, a family member, who needs to hear this message today, and please share it with them. You never know whose life you might change. Always remember this. You are not here to be tolerated. You are here to be treasured. Take good care.